So now I'm going to explain about the activity life cycle. Activity life cycle. So guys, believe me or not, every Android interview contains one question, that is the basic question, the life cycle of activity. Every Android interview, even you applied for 5 years or 2 years, even if you applied for with 1 year's experience also, you will get one mandatory question, that is what activity life cycle. So before that, going to the activity life cycle, first we should know what is activity. First we should know what is activity. Simply activity is nothing but it provides one user interface to the user. It provides one interface to the user. See, okay, simply here activity is nothing but which provides one interface to the user. Activity is nothing but which provides one interface to user. Means if user wants to communicate with my application, means okay, that case I should use one class. The name of the class is called activity. Means whatever I want to place, either buttons or text views or edit text or radio buttons, whatever it may be. Okay, how to take the help of activity. Whatever it may be, how to take the help of activity. So, activity is a one predefined class which is given by Android framework. Which is given by Android framework. So, if I want to use those activity, simply I have to extend activity. How to extend activity. Already we know what is the mean by extends keyword. Simply the purpose of extends is we can use the whatever class we are using. Here activity is a super class. I'm extending that class. Okay, but in Java, whenever I start my program, always program execution starts from main function 2. In Java, whenever I start my program, always the program execution starts from main function 2. But in activity C, I created one class. The name of the class is main activity. The class is extends activity. The class was extends activity. So now whatever methods we are having in activity class, the same methods are available in main activity. The reason is main activity is extend the activity. Main activity is extend the activity. Now if you want to see the life cycle of activity, simply, okay, maybe it will take some time to load the page. For activity means whenever you start with your activity, first one method will be called, the name of the method is onCreate. The name of the method is onCreate. Okay, so this is the initial means whenever I am starting my activity first time, then onCreate method will be called onCreate follows onStart. OnCreate follows onStart. After onStart we have one more method, onResume. Next one we have onPause. Next one onStop. Finally onDestroy. OnDestroy. So onCreate will be called initially. Means whenever I call my activity initially, that case onCreate method will be called onStart. After creation of my activity means after initializing, then onStart method will be called. After that onResume method will be called. So whenever onResume is called, that case your resume will be, means your activity will be visible to the user. Your activity will be visible to user. Okay, whenever onResume is called, that time activity will be visible to the user. Okay, next one onPause. This onPause method will be called. So suppose I am moving from one activity to another activity. So that case onPause means your activity will be going to the pause stage. Next one stop. If your activity is stopped, then onStop method will be called. Whenever your activity is destroyed completely, onDestroy method will be called. Another important thing is these all methods are available under activity class. So if I extend activity, then only I can use these methods. Simply here see, my main activity is extends activity. So here I am having onCreate method. Here for explain to explain. Okay, here maybe I can, yeah. Here I can find out the life cycle. See, first one is when an activity is launched, onCreate method will be called. Next one, on start method will be called. After on start, on resume method will be called. After on start, on resume method will be called. So whenever on resume is called, your activity will be visible to the user. Your activity will be visible to the user. Suppose I am moving from one activity to another activity. In that case, on pause will be method will be called. The case on pause method will be called. After on pause, on stop method will be called. Okay. Next one, assume on stop method is called, but re means once again I am calling the same activity. That case on restart method will be called. The case on restart method will be called. The reason is previously on stop method is called, but if your activity is destroyed, then your activity will be shut down. Whenever you call the same activity, then once again control will start from on create. Control will start from on create. See, now I'm going to explain about. I'm going to write some methods. I want to implement those methods. Here, what I want to do here, I want to create one toast, private, white, somewhat to display the toast. Here, to display the toast, what method should I use? Toast dot make text, get application context, MSG, toast dot length short dot show, length short dot show. Here I want to pass one string value. So see, whenever on create is called, then I want to toast. Here I'm displaying toast. In toast I'm displaying message as on create 1. I'm displaying message as on create 1. Next, another important thing is, see, the on create is contained at the rate of override. This is what simply we call as annotation. Annotation is nothing but which explain what is the use of the method, means is method is user defined or predefined. Here the method on create is a predefined. So this method is available under activity class. This method is available under activity class. So it's an override. Okay, it's an override method. After on create, I am writing on start. On start. In on start, simply here on start 1. Next one, on resume. On resume 1. See, these all are optional methods. On resume, next one, on pause. On pause 1. Next one, on stop. On stop 1. On destroy. On destroy 1. Simply see. These are some methods. Suppose, yeah, on start, and I want to write on restart also. On restart 1. See, these all are some optional methods. See, whenever initially if I call this activity, right click, run as, under application.
Sure, I have a question.
Yeah, 1 minute. First let me explain. Let me finish. See, so first on create 1, later on start, after that on resume 1. On resume 1. If I change the orientation, that case on pause 1 method will be called. After on pause 1, on stop 1, after on stop 1, on destroy 1. Then once again we will call from on create 1 and on start 1, on resume 1. The reason is, whenever you change the orientation of your screen, in that case your current activity will be destroyed and it will recreate your activity. Means it will create my activity from scratch. From scratch. Suppose if I change the orientation once again, then same. On pause 1, on stop 1, on destroy 1, next on create 1, on start 1, on resume 1. On resume 1. Suppose I am going to create one more activity. The name of the activity I am giving as SCCOND. Second activity is what I want to do here in second activity as a layout. Control C, See, I'm not writing anything. Everything I'm doing copy paste only. As you see in the second layout, I'm going to delete all unnecessary code. Okay. Just I'm displaying one button, second screen. Now go to your second activity. Here I'm adding second layout. Here Control V. So in that, what I'm going to show here, on create 2. Assume here on create 2 is nothing but the second activity. On restart 2, on start 2, on resume 2, on pause 2, on stop 2, on destroy 2. Yeah, Control S. Now if I want to call this activity, what should I do here? First I should register this activity inside the manifest. Okay. Yeah, already I registered my activity. Next one, go to main activity. In main activity, to call the next screen, which method I should click here? See, this I'm having number. Okay, I want to change the screen design. Text I want to delete these all as textures. Next one, I'm deleting buttons also. Show next. When I click the show next button, simply I'm calling method 1. What it contains method 1. Simply here I don't want to use this dollar. What is the process should I follow to call the next activity? To call the next activity, start activity, new, intent. The first parameter is a current class. My current class is main activity dot. This, the ongoing class is second activity dot class. This is what. Okay, next right click, run as Android application. On create 1, on start 1, on resume 1 only. So whenever I press the show next button, in that case what will happen here? So when I am pressing the show next button, simply I am navigating from this screen to the second screen. In that case, on pause 1 method will be called. After on pause 1, on create 2. On create 2 is nothing but it's the second activity on create. Next one, on start 2. Next one, on resume 2. On resume 2. See what will happen when I press this button. First, on pause 1, on create 2, on start 2 and on resume 2. After on resume 2, on stop 1. On stop 1 means whenever the second activity is visible to the user, then only the first activity will be stopped. So that's why it's calling on stop method. It's calling after on resume 2, it's called on stop 1. It will call on stop 1. Here on pause 1, on create 1, those are some messages, whatever message I am giving here. Okay, next another important thing is when I am pressing the back button of my device, that case what will happen? First one, your on pause 2 means see. When I press the back button, that case on pause 2 method will be called. After on pause 2, on restart 1. On restart 1 means the previous activity will be restart. Next one, after on restart, on resume. I think after on restart, on start. Next one, see, on start 1. Next one, on resume 1. Whenever the previous activity will be resumed, then on stop 2 and on destroy 2 also will be called. on destroy also will be called. See here. I'm pressing the back button. See, and then press the back button. On pause 2, on restart 1, on start 1, on resume 1, on stop 2, on destroy 2. Means the previous activity is destroyed. Okay, suppose when I click the next button, then what is the life cycle? On pause 1. After on pause 1, on create 2, on start 2, on resume 2, then on stop 1, the previous activity will be stopped. So when I press the back button, once again, pause 2, restart 1, on start 1, on resume 1, on stop 1, and on destroy 2. Suppose if I change the orientation, see on destroy 2 is also called. If I change the orientation of my screen, see now I am in second activity. If orientation change, that case on pause 1 means the current activity will go into the pause state. After that, on stop 1, next one, on destroy 1 means destroying the current activity. At the same time, it will create on create 1, on start 1, on resume 1. See, if I change the orientation, see, on pause 1, on stop 1, on destroy 1, on create 1, on start 1, on resume 1. Okay, next, another important thing is these all are life cycle methods. These all are life cycle methods. So life cycle methods means those methods are called by Android OS, not by us. Those methods are called by Android OS, not by us. Okay, next you may have one doubt. Sir Ravan, what is the use of those life cycle methods? In real time scenario, in what situation should we use those methods? Assume I created one login page. Assume I created one login page and entered some credentials like some username and password. So if the credentials is okay, then I'm going to main page, means next page. I'm going to next page. Okay, in the next page, assume I press the back button. Assume I press the back button. But when I'm coming from previous screen to the login, I don't want to view the credentials which I entered. Because of some security purpose, I don't want to view the data. So that case, we have to use those life cycle methods. That case, we have to. So that case, what should I do? So on restart method will be called. When I'm moving back, then on restart method will be called. In on restart method, simply I will do clear. I will implement clear functionality. I will implement the clear function. So there's a depends on situation, we have to use those methods. Depends on requirement, we have to use those methods. So that is simply activity. So this is a mandatory question in any interview. Even if, believe me or not, even I attended around 20 to 25 interviews, maximum 15 interviewers asked the same questions. What is the life cycle of activity? What is the life cycle of activity? So this is what simply life cycle of activity. Okay. Is it clear or any doubt? Vishnu, any doubt? Vishnu or Roshan?
No, Sean. It is just that so much of code in it. I just need to go through it once. Roshan, you had a question, right?
I actually forgot. I'll remember.
Okay.
Roshan, any doubt?
No, not so far.
Yeah. Tell me Mamata, Pranavi, Srilaya, Vinayak, Amani, Apurva.
So like the life cycle of thread, we can like only one activity runs at one time, right? Not like multi-threading, because two threads can run at the same time, but in this only one activity runs.
Yeah,
right?
one activity only will run. So whenever the second activity will come to the user, then the first activity will go to the on pause state and on stop state. If the previous activity will go into the stop stage, then only the second activity will be visible to the user.
And we can like stop, like we can stop it. We can give some kind of command, and like, is there like, can we put it on a sleep? Like in multi-threading, we used to put like the threads on sleep.
See, the threading is different. This is the screen. Means
Okay.
actually the thread is done some different concept. Means the purpose of threading is if you want to do more than one task simultaneously. So that case we have to prefer threading. But here is user interface. User interface, suppose assume I have 3 screens. Screen 1 and screen 2 and screen 3. Assume the screen 1 is the login page and screen 2 is the some home activity and screen 3 is the some options which provides. Okay, so while I'm navigating from one activity A to activity B to activity C, that case I have to follow this type of activity lifecycle method. Why? Because in activity C, when I press the back button, assume I want to, okay, automatically it will go to the activity B. But as per my requirement, I want to show the activity A. Okay, I want to show the activity A. So it depends on your requirement, we have to use this activity lifecycle, but we should know these lifecycle methods. We should know this lifecycle method. See, every method is contains at the rate of override. Override means here where I'm overriding these methods. Okay, these methods are available under which class? Under activity class. These methods are available under activity class. Okay, here toast is just for displaying. Toast is only for displaying. Another important thing is Shravan, why it's taking so much of time. See, on pause. Next one after 3 seconds on create 2. After that one on sort 2. Shravan, really will it take that much of time? Means no. Okay, the reason is a toast means to displaying the toast, at the same time the toast is displayed in 3 seconds. So that's why here I'm getting some gap between one or lifecycle method to another lifecycle method. Okay, but it won't take any gap between those lifecycle methods. It won't take any gap between those lifecycle methods. Okay, is it clear or any doubt in the activity lifecycle?
Okay.
Okay, next one. Do one thing for tomorrow class. Just explain by yourself and record the activity lifecycle method. Means what will happen when you change the orientation, when you moving from one activity to another activity. Okay, record the audio and send me the audio to me. Send me the audio to me. Why? Because in interview this is a mandatory question, so that's why I'm giving this type of assignment. So assume if they ask interview what is activity life cycle, then what you will explain, means what will you explain. Okay, so in tomorrow what I want, simply record something and send me the audio file to me. Okay, is it clear what is my assignment?
Yes.
Any doubts?
Yes, sir. No.
Okay.
Will you send this code with like today's video?
Yeah.
Okay.